So just a little backstory. A few weeks ago, no, about a month ago, Mucci approached me and said, "Hey, I want you to preach in this sermon series. You have two choices. You can either do suffering, lament, or you can do whatever your favorite psalm." Be honest, I don't necessarily have a favorite psalm, so that was easy. But the reality is, I was quick to say, "Hey, let me do suffering and pain," because that's kind of where I was. Um, and just a little bit of honesty, if you know anything about me and Ashley, we just brought home our third son 6 weeks ago, which typically is a cause of great joy and celebration, right? The woo. Um, but can I be honest? Sometimes bringing home children is one of the saddest and most depressing things you can do. I found myself in the hospital staring at the window, wondering what I was doing. Realizing that I was unworthy to be given a child. And that there are many, probably even in this room, that are longing for children that God has not opened the womb. Yet I am taking home a third. And I'm messed up inside. My spiritual life was not where it needed to be. It's still not. I was utterly depressed. Yet it's supposed to be this time of great joy and celebration. And how much of our life is like that? These times where we should be celebrated, we should be happy, yet all we can see is darkness. Or all that we experience around us is tragedy. And that's exactly what the psalmist here is experiencing in this moment. One of the great joys and graces of the Psalms is that 90% of them don't actually tell you what was going on when this psalm was written. Do you know why? I'm not saying write it down, but to me, if we knew what the situation was, it'd be very easy for us to write it off as if it didn't apply to mine. But one of the great graces that God has given us in the Psalms is that they do not tell us what was going on, because the truths apply no matter what the situation is, no matter whether it's an institutional injustice or a pain and suffering that I have brought on because of my own sin, right? We see that even in David, the sin of sleeping with Bathsheba and then having her husband killed and then now taking her as his wife. He writes a psalm of lament. Yet this was sin that brought this pain and suffering upon him. Yet God welcomes the pain and questions and provoking because he's big enough.